there's been a community council post that Blizzard responded to. You know, I actually made a video kind of about these kind of things last week or 2 days ago, whatever. So let's kind of go through it right now and just kind of see what's going on. I want to like read the actual post and then see the reply from Blizzard. So the post itself from Kindy Volker WoW Community Council US. We're barely 4 weeks through the season, are already experiencing the same issues. Okay, honestly, I can read. It was weirdly phrased, okay? The same issues and worse that were present in season 2. I'll do my best to be concise on the most pressing issues. Wild class imbalance. Despite there being tunings over the few weeks, there's still major outliers that are yet to be addressed at this stage. What spec you're playing. What spec you're playing matters more than your skill, which is extremely worrying. Yeah, I mean, there's been, like, I guess Deej is, like, the biggest outlier this season. I feel like this is always the case. Like, I'm actually, like, I think this is an issue, but it's a small issue. And it's always a thing, like, where things are really, really good. I think tuning overall has been decent. The issue is more, like, you can't actually play the game when you want to play the game. But, yeah, I mean, it's a thing, right? At a baseline, damage seems really high. People, myself included, are dying through cooldowns. And some is even while getting spam healed. The benefit here to simply racing health pools again, because it seems like a tall order to find all the specs and tier sets that are contributing to this. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things happening. I guess, like, let's say sub-rogue, a spec that just, like, does crazy damage. Let's see here. Following the changes from last season, there's still too many micro-CCs in the game that make playing Arena not a fun experience. Often healers are complaining that they can't play the game. Instead of undergoing another massive CC change, a fix potentially could be increased cooldown on any CC ability. Okay, this one I don't agree with. Like, I don't think this is the thing. Like, CC's already been nerfed. Healers, like, have lower CD now. Like, this, I don't think really is it. These things combined are actually just creating an uproar within the community, which deters players from queuing up, which brings me to my next point. Okay, so now it's on to, like, the whole shuffle thing, which, to be fair, I think, like, healing can be a frustrating experience in shuffle, but, like, I don't think it's because of these things that much. I think it's more just, like, how shuffle is fundamentally set up is not very satisfying for healer to play in. You know, just, like, fundamentally, like, the system of shuffle. Of course, you know, there's things you can do, like bigger MR increases and such, but yeah, I think it's more of a fundamental issue in shuffle than tunings and, like, CC and such, because they've already, like, reduced CC by a lot, you know, and that's not changing the situation. I don't think, and going even further that way won't change it more. I think it's, like, not gonna have the impact. Yeah, but let's see here. Let's read this shuffle thing now, because this is the biggest problem in my opinion. Soul shuffle queue times, DPS 40 minutes seems to be the average wait time no matter what rating you are, which for a game that offers PvP content seems outrageous. True. I gotta say, like, my personal experience, my queues are now 40 minutes average. Maybe, like, I've been lucky. But I usually have, like, 20 minutes, maybe 25. Yeah. But, yeah, I mean, queues are way too long, right? For the most popular game, made to be the least accessible, feels terrible. Game mode, sorry. Yeah, true. Like, that's the thing about shuffle. Like, it's right there queued up, but you don't get the queue. It's, like, right there, but it's not right there, you know? It's sad. I understand changes were made to prevent low-rated healers being put into lobbies with hybrid players. And I agree with that, but the issue is that healers are just not playing the game because of how much to see still prevent them from... Okay, here's the thing. I agree with, like, a lot of this, like, his problem, but I don't think it's because of how much to see. Like, this is not the case. Like, CC's already been reduced, and it's not increased the participation. I think there's, like, many issues. It's not, like... It could be a part, like, that's a part of it, but, like, I really don't think, like, that's the whole thing. I think, again, it's, like, more of a fundamental thing about how shuffle plays and how it is for healers. like in, you know, how it's like a one healer 1-in-1 every game. New DPS, like a shuffle. It's, you know, shuffling, of course. It's a Zolo shuffle. I think Blitz is like more appealing for healers, at least like from every healer I also talked to and heard from. That's the case. I think just like that Soul Shuffle as a game mode fundamentally isn't very appealing as a healer. Yeah. I think that's kind of more what it is. I think there are ways to encourage more healers to queue the game, for sure, to queue shuffle, like maybe some kind of mount reward or whatever. Let's say some kind of like more MR for sure. But again, shuffle is just not it, man. Sadly, because it takes away from 2v2 and 3v3. It takes away from LFG, but it doesn't like replace it in a good way because you're still just stuck, you know, waiting 34 minutes. So it just kind of like diminishes PvP in general because of it. And again, I think it just comes down to like how it's fundamentally set up. But yeah. So, which is why, like, for me, I really think, like, Battleground Blitz, it's the future, man. Like, the queues are faster in there on the PTR, like, than shuffles were on retail. Like, it's a better ratio of healer to DPS. You can solo / duo queue, also, you know, healer and DPS, and I think that's kind of going to be the path forward, because, like, what's going on right now ain't it, and I don't think fixing or, like, reducing CC even more is going to prevent that. But, yeah. Let's see here. Shovel point system healer. MR is too much weight on the change of personal rating. Oftentimes you can go 4-2 and win 0 because the MR the differential. Not every lobby will be favorable, and even if you play well, you won't get rewarded, which seems flawed. I agree. I think like MR in general feels really bad in shuffle. Yeah. So I mean, this, you know, I think like how MR's reward and such should definitely be looked at. Like, even on DPS, if you go 6-0, like, you gain the exact same MR and CR. So it's just, like, tracking it. I think, like, you should be able to, like, it should be kind of exponential in some way. Like, if you win more than lose or whatever, you know? But, yeah. Like, we can also, like, go kind of deep into things we talked about, like, last kind of rant video as well about this, but... Like, many people have talked about as well, like, Van Rookie and many people, Super Tees, like, kind of streamlining the process, like, where 2-4-1 season is going to be 1800, like, the next season, where it's going to be, like, more streamlined, like, where, you know, this guy got 2.2k, he's 2.2k, not like, okay, you got 2.2k, yo, what season, what brackets, you know, like, all those things. I'm back. I think this is a good point. With current system, there seems to be no actual reason to play until later in the season. Being unable to push higher ratings and get rewards at the pace of our choosing feels bad. If you're queuing like early season, like, I mean, now we're a month in, right? And like, if you're 2k rating in 3s, you're facing like rank 1s and glads only. And like, this just feels really bad. Like, if you're suddenly harsh like 500 CR lower than it used to be, you're gonna feel bad, even though it's like the same kind of equivalent. A solution could be to have the cap start way higher, let's say around 2.7-ish, with a gradual increase towards the later third of the season for gamers who want to secure the rank 1 titles. Yeah, I actually quite like that suggestions where it kind of starts high, but then like towards the end it's gonna increase like a bit, because right now it's like the last 2 weeks it just goes up like crazy, but like before that it's like really slow. Side note, wait, hold up. No, never mind. Side note, it may have been oversight, but you can't currently queue a skirmish with a cross-faction buddy. Seems to be strange to be able to do rated cross-faction, but not skirmishes. That's all for now. I appreciate your time. Looking forward to some more class tunings this coming week. Good post in general. Again, I don't agree with, like, everything he's saying. Like, it seems like he is kind of saying, like, yeah, like, healers are just not playing the game because of how much CC is still preventing them. Like, I think that's why. I'm pretty damn sure that that's not why. But, you know, hey, still good post, and, you know, there's different opinions on this, which is good. It's hard to say, and you know, there's probably many factors, you know, some doing more than others. Exact, like, the breakdown, who knows? Again, in my opinion, I think it's more of a fundamental thing of shuffle. I think you can better the situation quite a bit by you know, fixing MR and these kind of things, you know, good tuning and all that stuff. But I've kind of like come to, it's kind of sad to say, but I think solo shuffle like is not the solo queue WoW needs. I think it's a fundamentally flawed system, and it's not what WoW solo queue is. I think again, Blitz is more like what we need for the game, and I think a solo / duo queue is genius, where you can do solo queue but duo queue with healer and DPS, because that alone really fixes the healer problem. Let's see here. So we got an answer, guys, or a reply from Kaiwax, the community manager. At the beginning of Dragonflight Season 3, we reduced the maximum rating gap healers could have going into a social match across all ratings based on feedback we received. We've seen that this resulted in long queue times at high ratings. This is true, like, because last season, not that queues were short, but healers were like get matched into way higher or lower lobbies. So like, for example, if I was queuing like 2,600 MR solo queue, you would get healers that both healers were like 2k, for example, right? And I didn't mind like that much. I think it was fine solution, but a lot of people complain about it, you know, and it's probably frustrating as a healer sometimes. So they kind of took that away, or at least, you know, kind of tuned it a bit, like where it's like less drastic. Total Justice, about a week ago, we increased the rating gap moderately, but only at high ratings to best preserve matchmaking with the entirety of the ladder. We've been watching the results of things like that, and we'll continue to watch all these issues very carefully so that we can make surgical changes wherever necessary. So, I mean, that's the reply from Kaiwax regarding like the... I kind of wish there was like something more about just like generally MR and how it's given. But, and I hate to say this, man, but like, I have a pretty bleak outlook on this solo shuffle right now, man. Like, my kind of game plan moving forward, right? Like, okay, I think in the war within with BG Blitz, rated BG Blitz, retail PP, it's gonna get like, you know, a bit of new lease on like life, kind of, you know, be able to hopefully kind of pop off again. That should be good. But until then, like, we got Season 3 now, Season 4, which is going to be like a faded season. And then we also have, like, you know, SOD Phase 2 coming out, which looks really fun. Cataclassic coming out, which also looks really, really fun. And, like, personally, like, when we got Cataclassic against, like, faded season with only shuffle again, like, 40-minute queues, I feel like it might dip, like, real low, like, retail PvP. But we'll see, man. I am hopeful for like retail PvP like long term though with rated BG Blitz and such, but yeah, we'll see, man. And also, you know, SOD Phase 2 also looks really fun, man, especially for Pharaoh. Like for me, like SOD in Phase 1 seems a bit bare bones, but Phase 2, at least the Pharaoh, you have bite and stuff, looks more fun. So yeah, should be good fun. But yeah, there it is though, man. Good posts. It does bring a lot of issues to the lights, and we'll see how it goes.